Hello and welcome to my poem analysis today. My name is James Carton and I've chosen the poem Mother Any Distance. The poem takes place in the shoes of a young adult, aged, in my predictions, 18 to 24, and is either a male or a female. However, I like to think that it's a male. At the beginning of the poem we realise that this boy is really close to his mother. However, throughout the poem, we learn that he has to move on with his life and tear apart the relationship that he has with his mother, gaining absolute freedom. This comes with a consequence though, because he can either fall or fly in the endless sky of the world. First thoughts of the poem were, it takes place in the eyes of a son or daughter, possibly Simon Armitage himself. The poem has a timeline, and at different stanzas there are different feelings and tones to it. There is a clear structure to the poem, and form. First off, I have to mention that the poem is an extended metaphor. Now, as we read the poem, Mother Any Distance, greater than a single span, requires a second pair of hands. You come to help me, measure windows, battlements, doors, the acres of the walls, the prairies of the floors. We notice that in the second sentence, the line requires a second pair of hands. The line reveals the speaker is half-free, but still needs his mother's support in the dying stages of his half-freedom. There is also a half-rhyme presented in the first two sentences. The half-rhyme appears multiple times within the poem and is very important in explaining the relationship between the speaker and the mother. In the fourth sentence as well, the acres of the walls. The acres of the walls expresses the freedom the speaker is going to have, but also that he has to decide and make a choice to fill the space he is now going to have. Moving on to the second stanza. You at the zero ends, me with the spool of tape, recording length, reporting meters, centimeters back to base, then leaving up the stairs. The line still feeding out, unreeling years between us, anchor, kite. A very powerful stanza. But the most powerful lines, in my opinion, are in the fourth sentences. Years between us amplifies the age and strength of the seemingly unbreakable relationship between the two. Anchor and kite are two very, very important words within the poem. Anchor is in this context of the poem represents the mother as an anchor, and that she is strong and stable and will always be there for her child. It is also strong and firm, representing the relationship between a mother and her child. Kite. In the context, the kite represents the young adult who is at this point half-free, exploring the sky, however will always reel back in. These two words are metaphors and embodies the poem in one. On to the final stanza. I spacewalk through the empty bedrooms, climb the ladders to the loft, to breaking point, where something has to give. 2 floors below your fingertips still pinch the last 1/100th of an inch. I reach towards a hatch that opens on an endless sky to fall or fly. This stanza is packed with notable things to mention. In the first line, I spacewalk through the empty bedroom is a metaphor to show the speaker discovering new things and exploring the unknown as he leaves his or her mother's nest. Spacewalk is used because it's usually a slow and lethargic act, which goes well with the speaker taking the new experience slow as well. The ladder to the loft. Something is still latched onto the speaker and has to let go for him to move on and be completely free. In this case, it's the mother. On to the fourth line. The 2 floors below your fingertip still pinch the last 1/100th of an inch. Desperation in the voice of the speaker, still trying to gasp onto his much-loved mother, whose relationship with her is ageless, but knows he has to let her go to be fully free. There's 3 dots located in the 5th sentence. It's called an ellipsis, presented in the stanza to pause the paragraph and emphasize the next sentence of the speaker, finally letting go. Endless sky. The endless sky is a personal pronoun to present the speaker finally by himself after leaving the comfort of his or her mother and taking a leap into the world. However, the daunting task intimidates him/her as his future is filled with so many possibilities. The poem ends off with fall or fly. This represents the possible failure moving on into the world as a consequence or reward of freedom. Thank you for listening to my poem analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. This was Mother Any Distance by James Carson. Cheers, lads.